Before you start this video, I would like you guys to hit that like button and share this video because it helps the viewership and it helps the algorithm. Also, if you've been missing out on daily videos, you're not receiving notifications, hit the bell button because I post very frequently. Sometimes people don't get notifications.
Which jumped up and got in my face and is like pointing in my face, you know, like trying to provoke a fight. So if I was like a super hothead or something, that would have been enough for us to be physically.
I'm going to ask you
tussling.
this. I'm going to ask you this. Has BRUJOS ever done anything violent? I'm going to ask you. Has he ever done anything violent?
So, yeah, he has. On one occasion, this was the deal breaker for me. This is when I started planning to leave. I'm taking a nap. I put my son down for a nap. He starts crying, hysterically screaming. I jump up out of my sleep to go check on him, and he's coming out of my baby's room. And I'm trying to get into the room. He closes the door behind him and says, mind you, my baby's 1 at the time. He's like, yeah, he's screaming, you know, he's aggressive, and he has to know that nobody's gonna come, every time he's crying or whatever. So just wait until like he calms down or whatever, to go in there.
One second. So you took your child with you to move in with him?
Yes, ladies, don't ever do that shit. Don't fucking do it. It was dumb. Yes.
Okay. This is. Let me take a drink real quick. Hold on. I'm all ears. I'm listening. I'm all ears.
Okay. So I'm out of it. Mind you, I just woke up out of my sleep to the baby screaming or whatever. I go use the bathroom. I come back. The baby's quiet. He's in his room, laying down. I go in the baby's room. Now, normally when I go into the baby's room, he's, standing up in his crib, jumping up and down, waiting for me to take him out the crib. In this case, he's still laying down when I open the door. And he's just like, mama. So I walk over to my baby. He's still laying down. He still hasn't gotten up. And there's blood coming out of my baby's mouth.
Hold the fuck up.
There's so much blood. It's not a little bit of blood. There's so much blood coming out of my baby's mouth. I'm trying to find the source of it. So I'm wiping his mouth, opening his mouth up as wide as I can to like see where this fucking blood is coming from. And I pick him up. I start screaming, what the fuck did you do to my baby? What the fuck did you do to my baby? And he's like, wait a minute. All I did was pop him. Don't fucking touch my baby. Why are you even touching my kid? Oh, I didn't know that was going to happen. I guess his mouth is just sensitive, but all I did was pop him. I'm sorry. I apologize. This, and that. Mind you, sensitive, but all I did was pop him. I'm sorry. I apologize. This, and that. Mind you, I'm in a whole nother state. I don't have any support. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. I couldn't do what I wanted to do at that time. So, you know what I'm saying? You can only imagine what the fuck. Oh, shit. I'm shaking right now. Like,
listen. Just 1 second. How old is he? How old is BRUJOS?
He's 31.
31. So you hit a 1-year-old child in the mouth. You're 31 years old and you hit a 1-year-old child in the mouth. That does not make, that is not normal.
To the point he's fucking bleeding.
That is not normal. That is not fucking normal.
It's not normal. Yeah. In hindsight, I should have, like, a lot of things should have happened at that point. definitely should have called the police, but like I said, I don't have any support. I didn't know what I was going to do from that point. I just, called my mom, told her what happened. She's trying to help me like come up with a plan and things like that or whatever. And, that was that. In the meantime, I'm keeping my baby far away from him.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
One second. Just give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
So now, how did you end up? So how did you end up leaving? What happened? But there's going to be some other stuff that I need to ask you. But how did you end up leaving?
Well, during the time he's, feuding with you back and forth, is work being thrown at him, he's throwing work at you, and I just started experiencing things from that. I was like caught in the crossfire, of course, because I'm living in the house during the time. So at this point, like, I just started having really bad nightmares. Like, my whole body's itching. I'm, cussing him out. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Because, like, we're obviously vulnerable. You're not protecting us the way that you should be. If this is the type of shit that you should have going on, which I thought the beef was dumb anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that, really put.
But listen, what were the physical things that happened? Let's just say, I guess
I ended up developing an abscess in my mouth, and it was very painful. It was like about the size of a tennis ball. So
an abscess the size of a tennis ball?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
So that means you had a big lump coming out the side of your face.
Yes, I did. So I go to the ER. I'm in excruciating pain, okay? Like, there was nothing that would like keep it down. I'm trying home remedies and things or whatever. So I ended up having to go to the emergency room. They're like, we can't do, any dental work here. You're going to have to make an appointment with the dentist. Nobody in the area within 100-mile radius accepted my insurance. Okay. So this is a sign for me, like, to just get the fuck on. Like, fuck all the furniture, fuck the plan, fuck all of that. Like, just do what you got to do and just go. Because this spiritual shit is not for play. Not that I took it as a game, but it gets real dirty. It gets real dirty. And if you're not protected the way that you should be, you don't have no business in it or around it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, just no. Anyway, also, all at the same time, this is all going on at the same time. He flew another girl in. Like I said, we got cool. I warned her of all the bullshit that was going on or whatever. She seemed like a really nice girl. So I'm like, you don't want no parts of this. He is not who he says he is. He's not going to do none of the shit that he told you he was going to do. Don't even get involved. Matter of fact, when you leave here, drop everything. Like, just leave it alone. You don't want none of these problems, She ended up sharing some information with me that he lied to her about, and he was lying to me about some things that he told her. I ended up confronting him around the same time. I have this big abscess in my mouth. This is all literally happening at once. I confronted him about it. And he's like, oh, so you calling me a liar and you gonna believe a bitch that you just met, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, she was cool enough, you know what I'm saying, for you to fly down here and have in your home, and, you know, and you trust her enough, you know, to do all of these things or whatever. But when it comes down to me, like, I'm not supposed to trust her, you know, and anyway, there's receipts and
That's
everything.
kind of like a backward situation. It just reminds me of my situation because when I was going through this situation with beefing, this was a narrative he was pushing with my ex. Trying to, the narrative was that I was, doing this, but it seems like it's kind of a reverse situation where my ex was wondering if I was dealing with my ex, I say ex, recently, the female that I was presently with, we're not together anymore whatsoever. But at the time, she was wondering if I was dealing with my ex whatsoever, or something of that nature whatsoever. And it's almost like it seems more of a situation where it's the same situation that's happening with him. Where it's almost like you're supposed to be here with me. We've been whatsoever, but yet you're believing my ex-girlfriend talking shit on social media whatsoever. And it's kind of seemed like the same reversal thing happening with him, where it's almost like the thing that he wanted to push, the narrative he wanted to push with me is the same narrative that got flipped back on him. That's what it seems like. But I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm listening to the story. Go ahead.
So she ended up leaving. Well, him and I had, when I confronted him, she had already left. Mm-hmm. I wanted to make sure, she was out of the picture or whatever. Yeah, so I asked him about it, and mind you, I had receipts and stuff, and he's like, you calling me a liar? You calling me a liar? Yeah, I am. Like, I have proof. I have proof that you're telling her one thing and you're telling me another. Like, this shit is not cool. And we're sitting at the dining room table at the time, and he gets up and he's standing over me. I'm sitting down still. He's standing over me in my face, like saying a bunch of foul shit, like, trying to like provoke a fight.
Can you give me an idea of the things that he would say?
Basically calling me slow, stupid, you gonna believe this bitch over me.
It seems like the same shit that he was trying to push over here. I didn't call my girl at the time anything out of her name, but I was just trying to get her to reason. You got all these lies being spread, and you're not listening to what I'm telling you. See, the difference between the two I'm seeing here is that his thing was physical. You're putting propaganda out there, and it's physical. You got two people talking where mine's is spiritual. It's like it's coming at you, and you have, this is not me talking. I'm not talking. And this leads into the spiritual conversation. Like you said, spiritual stuff it's no joke.
Yeah.
Everything he did was physical. Mm-hmm. My reaction spiritually, there was no talking. And that's the difference between one person talking and one person doing the work. Because without me even saying anything, the same thing he was projecting was sent right back to him.
Exactly.
I'm listening to you. Go ahead. So,
yep. Let me see. Right after that, I'm just like, no, like this is about to get real ugly. He's becoming more and more irate, like more aggressive. I was really concerned about, all my furniture and, all of my belongings and stuff, everything that like I worked really hard to get. But at that point, it just became too much. So